Jaylen Gramstad has now announced it publicly that he is coming to Nebraska. And, I think this has been done for over close to a week. There were some final things that had to get ironed out. And the biggest thing is he needed 3 credit hours to finish at Northwestern in Iowa. In an NAIA private school, and to transfer to Nebraska, it would be a much cleaner transfer if he had his degree done. So I don't know how they ironed that out, but they did. And this is a guy that wants to be a Husker. He wants to be here. Grew up a Husker fan. Was in the COVID era of recruiting, so never even got to compete at a camp at Nebraska, but was a state champion, won a national title. Was a national runner-up, national player of the year, and now he's going to come into your room as a veteran quarterback mind.
Right, and this is and Sean, you've talked to him a lot, Jaylen a lot. This is the only school he would go to, right?
Correct. Jaylen said he's like, it's Nebraska or go back to Northwestern, and this was his dream. I mean, this is a kid that grew up. Almost, it's in Iowa, but it was near Sioux Falls, the far northwest corner of Iowa. So his whole family's Husker fans, and you might remember the Ducker family, the brothers that went to Bellevue West.
Yes, of course.
Javon Ducker. So Javon Ducker is his first cousin.
Okay.
And his mom, Javon Ducker's mom, is Jaylen Gramstad's the brother and sister. So they're, in fact, so his cousin played with Daniel Caitlin at Bellevue West.
Okay.
So, this is a guy, he's very familiar with it. And the story, it's really like a movie. This is a guy that just showed up to Nebraska's camp.
Post-grad camp.
He worked a shift at a golf course.
Then
he drove down.
Didn't tell the Northwestern coach.
No, didn't even kind of prep and nobody even knew. Like, I'll never forget Jeff Jamrog, the Midland head coach's face when he saw the NAIA National Player of the Year.
What was the face like?
Just like that. Gramstad. He couldn't believe that Gramstad was working out at Nebraska.
It is a fascinating story. Gramstad fits the Nebraska profile in a myriad ways. One is that Matt Rule mentioned this. If you go try to find film of him, you will find film of him playing safety at Northwestern in his first year there, and he's a good safety. He's an excellent safety. He's very athletic. There's highlights of him tackling guys in the box. He's a good football player. That's what you'll notice right away. Then when he went to Northwestern, Sean, they had an All-American quarterback, and there was kind of an agreement with the head coach. Hey, I get it. You have an All-American quarterback now. When he moves on, I want to play quarterback. Boom. He moves into the quarterback spot.
Wins a national title.
I think national runner-up too, as well, and then wins basically the Heisman Trophy of that classification. So he's good. The thing that I want to emphasize is I watched the film. He's pretty good. He can play. He can run. He's a good runner, but he can run this offense as a thrower. And the Nebraska coaches probably had to see that on film, and they saw it.
He would have been good enough to help Nebraska last year, especially if the quarterback. The quarterback play and the issues they dealt with were as rough as we've ever seen at Nebraska.
Well, 52% completion percentage, 10 touchdown passes, 16 interceptions. Seldom do you see that ratio. Jameis Winston, maybe, but
Gramstad led NAIA in passing.
I love Jameis Winston, by the way. I hate to even say that, but I love him. He's a Seminole. But go ahead.
Gramstad led NAIA in passing last year. He only threw 8 interceptions in 15 games.
See, there you go.
So he's less than a pick a game.
So yeah, you don't know where he's going to be on the depth chart. It's great for him that it's only June 20th. Because he can, I imagine, come in and start assimilating with the team, start learning the offense, and maybe basically hit the ground running on July 31st when Nebraska starts camp. He'll want to come in and compete. I don't think he will come in with the posture of, oh, they got their guys. I'm just here in case. I don't think he's cut out that way. My guess is he will come in and say, no, I want to move up the depth chart as fast as I can.
Well, he's a 3-time captain of a national championship program.
Right. There's no guarantees. I'm not saying he will move up the depth chart. I'm not. I don't know. He's got to operate from behind, especially when it comes to Harburg. Harburg knows the offense much better.
What's interesting, if he would have entered, there's no portal for NAIA guys, but if he would have went on the market as a free agent publicly, he would have had a lot of interest. I mean,
I think so. You saw him work out
from the group of 5 for sure. I mean, like there's a lot of group of 5 programs who have been poached badly.
You saw him work out yourself. You went to all the camps. God bless you. You watched him work out. What did you think?
Well, his arm jumps right away.
Does it really?
He's not, I mean, he's like a Todd Reesing type.
6 foot.
Yeah, he's not big, but his footwork and the way the ball gets out, and he can run. I mean,
he can run.
In a national championship game, he threw for like 300 and ran for 100. He had over 400 yards in a national championship game they won, and then the next year they got beat. So I mean, it's look, you could say what you want NAIA football, but how many of Nebraska's quarterbacks a year ago would win a National Player of the Year at NAIA? I don't think any.
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question.
We saw some of the worst turnover numbers we've ever seen. So this is a positive, and you're getting him as a walk-on, and clearly a guy that wants to get into coaching.
There's some news, interesting news. I thought the Corcoran's
back.
Turner Corcoran's back. Matt Rule's, I really appreciate how definitive he is. I mean, we learned quite a bit about roster today. Corcoran is back, full go for camp. Deshaun Singleton back, full go for camp. Gabe Irvin back, full go for camp. Corcoran will start out as a tackle. That's informative. They need tackle depth. I mean, that's why I asked it. They don't have a ton of tackle depth. Okay, so there's the possibility of some decent tackle depth there. He also was very definitive in the press conference today, aside from our video, of Jaden Doss as a corner. I mean, he answered it definitively. Garrett McGuire during the Houston camp said he'd be playing both during the summer, and then they decide. Today, Matt Rule said corner. Jaden Doss is a corner. He's got great change of direction, great ball skills, weighs 200 pounds. He's going to be a defender. It's an interesting move. You know how I felt about him as a receiver. I really liked him. I mean, I really thought he could be a guy that would move. But Matt Rule also said today that he feels like that wide receiver room could be 9-10 players deep. So you can afford to move Doss.
Yeah, it's interesting just the flexibility with players. I mean, we were even seeing with David Hoofkin. I mean,
yeah, flexible.
10 days ago, he told us directly to our face, O-line, and now he's going to be a D lineman. So that's Matt Rule and how they operate.
So true.
They move guys.
They want football players. That's why that Gramstad film is informative to me, because you'll see it and you'll see him playing safety, but now he's a quarterback.